This school was failing. One teacher changed everything. Miss Anya Sharma, a teacher with a smile as bright as the sunflowers she grew in her classroom, looked out at the cracked pavement of Northwood Elementary. The school was old, its paint peeling like a sunburn, but to Anya, it was a garden waiting to bloom. Most new teachers left after a year, but Anya was planting her roots deep. Her students were a bouquet of bright, curious faces, like Jamal, who could build entire cities out of blocks but struggled to write his name, and little Maya, who hid behind her hair but drew pictures that told epic stories. "Our books are older than I am," Anya sighed to her friend, another teacher named Mr. David Chen, one afternoon. He was packing his own box. "And we have no budget for art supplies." David just shook his head. "You can't fix this place, Anya. I'm heading to a school in the suburbs." Anya watched him go, a familiar ache in her heart. But as she looked at the vibrant, imaginative drawings Maya had left on her desk, a new idea sparked. "If we don't have the tools," she whispered to herself, "we'll have to invent them." The next day, she brought in old magazines, bottle caps, and fabric scraps. "Today," she announced to her class, "we're not just going to learn history, we're going to make it." The kids looked puzzled. They started with the story of the city's founding. Instead of reading from the tattered textbook, Anya had them build the city skyline using cardboard boxes and paint. Jamal, the master builder, was in his element, his hands moving with confident speed. For science, they didn't have beakers or Bunsen burners, so they went outside to the neglected schoolyard. Anya and her students started a small garden, planting seeds in old milk cartons. They learned about photosynthesis by watching their own sunflowers stretch towards the sun. Word of Miss Sharma's unusual classroom started to spread. Parents, like Jamal's grandmother, Mrs. Evans, would peek in, their skepticism slowly melting into smiles as they saw their children excitedly explaining the water cycle using a diagram made of yarn and paper plates. The change was remarkable. Test scores began to creep up. More importantly, the students were excited to come to school. They were confident, engaged, and proud of what they were creating. The classroom buzzed with a new kind of energy. One crisp autumn afternoon, as the children were cleaning up their garden, a man in a sharp suit arrived. He introduced himself as Mr. Harrison from the school district office. He looked around at the peeling paint and the makeshift garden with a deep frown. "I've been reviewing the school's performance data and budget," he said, his voice cold and official. "And I'm afraid I have some bad news.